Hi everyone and welcome to And So On Knitting Edition. My name is Lisa and today I have a last minute test knit. Well, the test knit actually isn't last minute, but I was last minute getting it done. And that probably doesn't come as a surprise to a lot of you. But I have lots and lots to tell you guys today. So settle in because really it's going to be a long one. I have my notebook with me so I can make sure I don't forget to tell you anything. And you know, this time of year, right? There's always so much to talk about. Okay, first things first, I want to tell you about my first knit along that I'm hosting. I'm hosting it along with Rebecca, who has the Crea Bea Podcast, which is a wonderful podcast. She's quite a new podcaster, but she's absolutely charming and lovely. And I think that YouTube gave me her first, showed me her very first podcast the week it happened. And so I've been following her since the beginning. And she lives in London, but she's Scottish. And I think she's moving back to Edinburgh at the end of this month or something like that. Or maybe she's already there, I don't know. And she's just great. And also she's got dimples like me. So, you know, the dimple connection, there aren't many of us left. So she is just a really lovely knitter. She makes beautiful things. She's got just a wonderful energy about her creating. And as well, like me, she likes to be aware of how much she's spending on her yarn and investing it in certain places. And so I like to just be aware of that. And I think sometimes in the knitting community, we don't talk as much about budget-friendly yarns. We tend to talk more about the hand-dyed yarns, which are beautiful and glorious, but maybe aren't always in everyone's price range when it comes to garments. So I think it's lovely to talk about all different things, and she does that over on her channel. So I will list her below, so you can definitely go over and visit Rebecca. So I've had this idea for a cowl, and I was watching Rebecca's podcast and totally charmed by her, and I thought maybe she'd like to host it with me. So I reached out to her on Instagram and I said, hey, would you like to team up as Team Brunettes with Dimples? And she said, absolutely. So we are doing a cowl, and my idea was to call it the Knitting Firsts Cowl. And that is the idea of something that you've never done before. So it's a first something. It could be your first sweater, your first hat, your first mittens, your first baby clothes, your first knitting project period, right? It could also be something like your first time knitting brioche, your first time knitting a cable sweater. That's actually what made me think of it, is because I have my first cable knit sweater and I thought this is perfect for knitting firsts because this is my first cable knit sweater. I'd also like to, now that I've done a little bit of brioche, I'd like to knit my first brioche project in all brioche. Maybe it's your first colorwork project, right? Like something that is either a new project that you've never done before or a new technique. That's kind of what I was thinking. And so we're putting it on Instagram, and you just need to use the hashtag knittingfirstskalfo to tell us about what you're making, and make sure to put in there what about it is the firsts. And then to enter, you enter with FOs, and you enter with hashtag knittingfirstskalfo. And we will choose prizes from there. We don't have all the prizes in yet, but if you would like to donate a prize, if you are a maker or a designer and you would like to donate something to our prizes, I would love that. Please do get in touch on Instagram or in the comments below. So it's already started. It starts now or it starts last week. And yes, whips count, of course. You know, as long as it's something that you've kind of just started in the last couple weeks, let's say, whips count. And it goes until February 1st. February 1st. So like knitting firsts, February 1st, get it? So yeah, I'm super excited to host my first cowl. And I think for me, other than my cable knit sweater, which I started a week ago, so I think it does count, I'm also going to knit my first brioche project, but that probably won't be until the new year. But I've already seen a couple of things popping up using the hashtag knittingfirstskalfo hashtag, and so I've been able to look at them and leave feedback and, you know, see what everyone's making, and that is super exciting. So I hope that you'll join in. And if you're a YouTuber here, if you decide to join in, if you can put hashtag knittingfirstskalfo in your description, then also we'll be able to find you and be able to share in your knitting firsts. Okay, so if you'll remember last time, I had lots of FOs and a few works in progress, and this time, of course, now I've got a whole bunch of works in progress, and I do have 1.5 FOs. The only thing I've really finished, I hadn't cast on last time, are these socks. And these socks are using the Regia Pairfect. And the reason why I cast them on is I was going into Barcelona one day to visit with my cousin who happened to be in town. And I wanted to be able to knit on the train, but I didn't want to take one of my big sweater projects. And so I had bought this yarn about, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, something like that, maybe 3. And I really wanted to make them. And so I thought, this is perfect. I'll just cast them on. And this Pairfect yarn is so much fun and so easy. I'm honestly tempted to make this exact same pair again. And the reason why is because these are not mine. They were supposed to be mine. And then Audrey saw me making them and she's like, oh, mommy, they're so beautiful. They're like the sea, they're like the beach. And you know, when your kid makes doe eyes at your knitting, it's kind of hard not to hand them over to her. So the fun thing about this is you start here, you do the ribbing as long as the first color lasts, and then you move into the leg, and then when it changes color again, you do the heel, and then you finish the heel and you do the foot. And then if you were making it for an adult size, or for, I guess for a guy, you would then wait until you change color again to do the toe. If I had been smart, I would have snipped off the blue and just pulled it until I got back to the beige or the sandy color, and then I would have had sandy toes, but I didn't. So these have been worn. She wears them, she's worn them a ton. I mean, I don't know, multiple days a week. She wears them in her boots. She loves them, she really does. So that's worth it, you know, it really is. And the other good thing was, because her feet are smaller than mine, I was able to do the toe earlier and get them off the needles faster. So really recommend this yarn. I think I got it, I think the reason why I bought it is it was on sale, but I would absolutely buy more. Maybe after Christmas, I will buy some more of this. All right, now my only other mostly finished object is the NYX cowl by Natasja Hornby. And you might be saying, the NYX cowl? I thought it was the NYX shawl. Ah, yes, it was the NYX shawl. It is the NYX shawl. However, for me, it's the NYX cowl. And the reason why is I'll show you a picture of what it was when I cast it off after I realized there was something dreadfully wrong, and what it's supposed to look like. And you will see that it is not a triangle in any way, shape, or form. It's some sort of trapezoid, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't notice it earlier. I'm guessing because I had it on really small needles, and I started it back in August, so I don't even remember really what I did or what I did wrong. But I knew that by that point, I was not interested in starting this project over again. Like, I love it, but there are other things I want to do, and so I thought I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to turn it into, hopefully this microphone's working down here, armpit mic. I'm going to turn it into a cowl. So here's the cowl, and the reason why it's a mostly finished object is right now it's being held with clips in the back. I haven't actually stitched it up the back, but I have it exactly how it's going to be, and it's great. I mean, the only thing I did was I took this point here and just folded it in, and then other than that, it's just flat down the back. I bound off in the red so that you get this nice border. You can still see quite a lot of the pattern, and actually I had just, when I first cast this off, I was just tying it around my neck, and it was really nice and warm. So it's blocked, I've pivoted, I'm happy. Unless you're a knitter, you're not even gonna know what the NYX cowl is. Even then, you'd have to be pretty savvy, or not savvy, but like, you know, you have to know Natasja Hornby's work pretty well to go, hey, that's not supposed to be a cowl, that's supposed to be a shawl. And other than that, I'm quite happy. So you can see here's my cheats version. I'm just gonna take a crochet hook and seam it down the back. And there you go. Cute. Yeah, I think it works. All right, now we go on to works in progress. Works in progress being defined as something that I've shown you as a cast on before that I'm still working on. Because I have a couple things that are works in progress for me, but because you guys haven't seen them, they're cast ons. Okay, just to confirm. Sorry, wrestling. So you guys will remember that I started the Y socks. The Y socks by, this is from Urban Knit by Leeni Hoimela. And these are the Y socks. Let's see, I can show you the picture here. So pretty. And I'm making them in Lana Grossa Meilanweit, which is a sock yarn that has a 5% cashmere in it. So it's really, really nice. I've got a good chunk done. So I was doing them concurrently. I would do like a chunk of one, a chunk of the other, because I don't love the process enough that I would have been really excited to cast on a second. So what I did was I cast this one on and did this much, and now I've gone back to here. And now you can kind of see that Y feature coming out. These are toe up. I think I have ever so slightly gone too long. You know when you think that you finally solved a mystery? I still have sock issues. So you can see that Y coming out, which is really nice. And I've tried them on. This sock yarn is so soft. I absolutely love the feel of it. The feel of it on my foot is so nice. These are in a little bit of a timeout right now because I have so much to get done, but they did inspire one of my other cast-ons, which I will show you in a minute. But these are the Y socks. Okay, where am I gonna put this and all this stuff? Ah! So I do still have the Esther vest by CamijoKnit. This has not been worked on because I've just had too much else going on. As well, I was hoping Lily could wear this to school as part of her uniform, but they've gotten really strict. So gray no longer cuts it as white, and so she can't wear it right now. So I thought better to leave this one to do over the Christmas break when she will be able to wear it quite a bit. So right now this one's in, not timeout, just having a little bit of a siesta. So what has been taking up literally all my knitting time over the last week is my Billie pullover. And this is the test knit that I have been working on for Sari Nordlund. And I had to finish the yoke and one sleeve by yesterday. Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And I started this the last time you saw it, and then I got completely distracted by another project that you're going to see. Let me show it to you and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So here we are. And you can see here, let me see, actually I might be able to put it on, let's see. Okay, so obviously I haven't done the neck yet, but this is the yoke, and I've completed one sleeve. I have not yet bound this sleeve off because I don't know how long it's going to block out, and so I actually will probably steam block this before I cast off, because there's nothing I hate more than sleeves that are too short, like these ones, which were fine, and then over time have just shrunk up on me. This is the not to distract myself, but this is the Ambient by Aerie, and over time it's shrunk up, and not that I've been washing it, I don't know. Anyway, so I don't want that to happen here, so I just put the cuff on waist yarn. But you can see all of the beautiful moss stitch, the way the cables go down. It's awesome. It really is awesome. And hang on a second. There was a huge learning curve for me on this, and Mel from Mel Makes Stuff was kind enough to mention me on her channel, and she did a little thing about how she keeps track of cables. I'll put a picture of what she sent me, and I'm like, that's really complicated. And I mean, I'm sure it's very straightforward, but I don't think I have the thing with me. Mine was I had a copy of the chart, and I would put a pen mark next to it when I started working on it, and I would highlight it when I was done. And then once I got into a thing where I was repeating charts, it got a little more hairy. I was really trying to not make mistakes, because I finished this in a week. This portion I finished in a week. You can see it starts with some shaping at the back. You start it back and forth, and honestly that was the toughest part. I made some mistakes. Some of them I caught in time to fix. Some of them I did not, and I'm choosing to see them as part of the story of this sweater. So for instance, there's a mistake here in the honeycomb. It's called the honeycomb cable, and there's two instances where I brought the wrong side over. So there's there and there. Had I seen it in time, I would have fixed it, and I did fix one or two that happened. But am I going to go back now 40, 50 rows to fix it? No, I'm not. I'm going to consider it part of my first cable knit sweater, and I'm going to use it as a cautionary tale not to leave yourself so little time to finish a test that you are rushing and therefore making mistakes. But I did through the whole thing go, don't get cocky, like stick to your pattern, you know, be meticulous like Melissa, and and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But this is made in Cascade 220. I think this is called Bordeaux or Burgundy. One of the French wine regions. I can't remember which one, if it was Bordeaux or Burgundy. I love the color. I mean, it's just sumptuous. It feels amazing on. This is also going to go into a little bit of timeout. Oh, you know what? I'll put in a little quick video of when I was knitting my heart out to finish this. Like, just actually, Rebecca messaged me and she's like, "Oh, I love your power knitting," because I was sort of like knitting by the water, knitting. Like, my husband was like, "Seriously, like, you're gonna hurt yourself. Stop." And the funny thing is after all that, I went to check the email to put my code in for the test knit, and it was a day later, the deadline. I thought the deadline was the 29th and it was the 30th, and it was like 7:30 on the 29th, and I basically called uncle. I was like, I'm just not gonna be able to do this. I can't do anymore. And it turned out I had one more day. So the next day I finished, I think I had like this much left to do. So I finished that much the next morning and got it done. So I'm really proud of myself for finishing it. And also, you know, I could have taken an extra day. It's not that. It's just that I wouldn't have been able to work on anything else because I would have felt guilty. So at least this way, I just got it done and it's done. And this is also, well, I say this is going to go into a little bit of hibernation, but I think I might keep it out because I want to keep the cable pattern in my brain. I don't want to have to like relearn it, because I was at the point where I didn't have to look at the cables. Like I knew which way they were going. I was able to do that. So I don't know, we'll see, but it's taking a little break. It's taking a little break for sure. So what was I working on instead of working on the test pattern that I was supposed to be working on? You guys remember that I received some of this Ulysse yarn. This is Ulysse from Dererum Natura. And I got this from Café Mimosa Lanar in the north of Spain. And then Making Stories magazine also has a shop, and they got some more colors in, and they were having a special. I think I told you last time they were having a special. And so I got, look at this yarn stash I have to show you guys. I got 2 more colors, 2 of each, because they were having a special. So this one is eucalyptus and this one is Darjeeling. So altogether I had these 3 plus cedar, which is in here. You know what, I'll just show it to you in a second. So I had 4 colors, and I mostly had this for the body. And so I was going back and forth, you know, I want to make a colorwork sweater. Which colorwork sweater? I put it on Instagram, did some, you know, questions, and I ended up with the Agnes pullover, or the Agnes sweater by Meilanweit. I'll put in a picture. And this won me over. And so I started knitting on it and I couldn't stop. Now, I understand why people have such a love affair with this Ulysse yarn, because it is beautiful to knit, and it's you know, I think what they call bouncy. You know, it's just got this like elastic texture to it. So I have got quite far. I'll hold it up to myself. So you can see here, I am about, if memory serves, I'm about 5 or 6 rows from the end of the color work. There are 4 or 5 rows where you're doing 3, and I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy 3 colors in 1 row. I'm sure I would enjoy 4 even less. I think 2 is great per row. It has been fun to work on my tension. You know, like I'm still in a learning curve with color work. Now, the only thing that I'm a little bit nervous about is I picked the cedre color, the cedar, for close to my face because I thought that the dark color close to my face was the best, but that's the one that I only have one ball of yarn. So I have to hope that this little chunk gets me to the end. I think I'm just gonna make it, I think I'm just gonna squeak by. What do they say? By the hairs of your chinny chin chin. That's what I think is gonna happen. Stay tuned. But yeah, I've just re-added in, this color is called poivre blanc, white pepper. And that's where most of it then is going to come. When this is done, it's just finishing the rest in this. Although I might try and work in another color in the cuffs at the end or something like that. Anyway, beautiful yarn. I mean, just gorgeous to work with. They're gonna get some, the Making Stories people are gonna get some Gilead yarn, which is the kind of big brother to this Ulysse yarn, in that this one is the sport weight and the other one is the DK worsted, and so I might end up grabbing some of that as well. This is a bag that I made myself, and I only have 2 bags. Well, I kind of have 3, and I rotate things around, and sometimes I stuff multiple projects into the same bag. Anyone else do that? Okay, where am I on my list? My list. Okay, so I finished whips. That was my first cast on. Next cast on, Advent socks. So now we're into the phase where I have to finish things for Christmas, clearly. I haven't overdone it, I don't think. I think it's pretty reasonable. I do an Advent calendar for my kids every year. Well, I started, this is my 3rd year, where I put something in a little box outside their door every night, and they open it and there's something in there. And this year I want to do Christmas socks. So I started this one. And this is that same Lana Grossa Meilanweit that I was making the Y socks out of. I loved it so much, so soft. I thought, okay, I'm gonna get this. So I got red, white, and black because teenagers. So I decided to just do a plain vanilla sock, but do helical knitting for my stripes. Aren't they fun? I'm using the Stephanie Pearl McPhee running stitch or running marker technique, I suppose. And I'm almost at the toe of the first one. Now the last thing I want to do is in this little red section here, I want to double stitch something. I don't know what yet, either a Christmas tree or a snowflake, or I don't know what. So I've almost finished one of these before I had to drop everything to finish the Billie. And I've cast on Audrey's. So Audrey's will be black and white, and then I'll put something red double stitched onto hers. I'm actually knitting these on my Chowgu shorty set, and I've just extended the cable. And I really like them because the Chowgus are so sharp that I find them nice. I've been knitting socks lately every which way. The short circulars, these 2 at a time. My thick circulars, I think, are mostly Addies, because it's just sort of the way it's worked out. But Addies are not as sharp. I know the Addie red lace are, or the Addie lace ones are, but the Addies that I have are less sharp. So I've been enjoying this. So those are going to be my main thing that I'm working on, so that I can hopefully be able to put them in their Advent box early next week. And then the other thing is, oh shoot, I forgot something downstairs. Okay, I had to run downstairs to grab my swatch. So the other thing that's going to be the priority this week is another test knit. So I am testing a knitted skirt by Selma from Little Big Knits, and I'm sure you guys all watch Little Big Knits. If you don't, where have you been? You guys have to go and subscribe to Little Big Knits. She is my friend, Selma. She's my friend. We're friends now. We became friends over Instagram. Selma, we're friends. We became friends over Instagram, and she lives in Ottawa. I lived in Ottawa for 2 years. When my husband was in grad school, Audrey was born in Ottawa, so I have a bit of a soft spot for Ottawa, and her channel is absolutely amazing. I've watched her for ages, and actually Selma's one of the reasons why I'm back to knitting podcasting, because she would say to me, "Where's your podcast? I loved your podcast." And so yeah, so she's one of the reasons why I'm back knitting podcasting. So she has designed a knit skirt, and I'm just starting it, and so I'm just going to show you my swatch. And here's my swatch. So this is one of those patterns that can be kind of any yarn, the gauge you want. Like, it's one of those very flexible patterns. So I was trying to figure out like what would I want, and part of it is that I am always cold, and so I'm always going to want an extra layer over my hips and bum and legs. I don't know, like I see that when I'm holding this up, someone's going to say to me, it's see-through, it's see-through. I think anything knit, if you stretch it open, is going to be see-through, but rest assured, I am mostly going to be wearing this over leggings or maybe over jeans. I don't think I'm going to be wearing it over bare skin or, God forbid, pantyhose. Remember pantyhose? Do people still wear pantyhose? I don't own any pantyhose, but like tights or something like that I could get away with. So what am I using for this? I'm double stranding. So I have this yarn from Knit Crate, and this is 90% alpaca, 10% tencel, Aran weight, Vidalana Celestial. Beautiful, really squishy and lovely. Now, one of the things Selma said is that you don't want to use anything too drapey because it might start to get baggy. You know, if you're sitting in it all the time, it might start to get baggy. So I thought, okay, I want to use this because I want it cozy and soft. But then I'm stranding it with Whole Super Soft, and this is what I am no longer using for this. I have this left over. So I've just started it. I've literally just cast it on. There's nothing to show you there. But the two together make this really pretty marl. So it's like a blue gray that goes together with more of a brown gray. I have to stop stretching it because you guys are going to get disconcerted that I'm going to be showing. It's not. See, it's actually quite dense. 4mm needles. So I'm really excited about that. Even just holding the swatch makes me happy. I may end up having to unravel the swatch, depending, because I only have two of the Vidalana. I don't know, we'll see. Honestly, worst comes to worst, this one is like the one for the test is just a butt warmer. That's totally fine too. You know, it's kind of, it can go either way. Butt warmer or skirt, up to you. Okay, back to my list. I'm trying to rush, guys, because my camera's being a little finicky lately, and I've been meaning to do this for a couple of days, and I have to get it done. So I'm trying to like, bam, 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 bam. Okay. Yes, you've seen that. Okay. What do I need to cast on? Is that all my knitting? Yeah, but I've got a lot of yarn over here to show you. Okay, what do I have to cast on? So, other than what I already have shown you, there are 3, potentially 4 or 5 more things to make for Christmas. 2 for sure, 3 for sure, and then 2 are kind of a possibility. So, for the children, my eldest is obsessed with Taylor Swift. Oh, she's so brilliant. Her lyrics are so deep. She's so awesome. Yeah, Taylor Swift is apparently the bomb. And there's some song where she talks about a red scarf that she left at her ex-boyfriend's sister's apartment. And so this red scarf has become iconic, as Audrey says. Iconic's a big word with teenagers these days. Also epic, but iconic even more so. So it's a red scarf. I'll put in a picture of the red scarf that Audrey sent me. It just looks like a plain seed stitch scarf. I saw a pattern that's very similar on Purl Soho. So I have to get red yarn and make a red scarf. I think I'm going to do it in worsted so that hopefully it is fairly speedy. And then the other thing, I have to make something for Lily. Lily wants a poncho. I think a poncho is a big ask between now and Christmas. So I'm thinking a beret. That way they each get a pair of socks and an accessory. And Lily is very fashiony. She's she loves, like, she's very girly. I mean, they're both very girly, but Lily's still girly in a girl way, whereas Audrey's more girly in a teenager way. Do you know what I mean? So I think a beret would really suit her. There's a couple of berets. I'll try and put in pictures. I'm looking at the April hat by Courtney Kelly or Merit by Woolly Wormhead. Both are, I think one is worsted and one is Aran. So I feel they'll go really fast, and I probably will do that in red as well. So I need to get some red yarn. Actually, Audrey really likes this. So I could always get some more Cascade 220. Yeah, I don't know yet. There's a yarn shop one town over that I might take you guys to next week that has all of the Katya yarns. I haven't been there yet. What? You haven't been there yet? I haven't been there yet. So maybe I'll take you to Villanova next week and I can show you the market there. And it's a bit of a bigger town than where I am here. And they have a couple of yarn shops, and there's one specifically that I'm thinking of. Okie dokie. There's those. Then I want to make a cowl for my friend Joe, who's very sweet, and I just think he's just the sweetest. And so I want to make him a nice cowl. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to make Joe something with this orange. I may strand it with gray as well. He has a couple of hats. He said he likes orange, and he likes a cowl. He said he wouldn't wear mittens when he goes and walks his dogs on the beach. He said a cowl might be nice. So I'm thinking I might go with this. It's not quite as dark as I remembered, so I may end up stranding it, maybe with mohair, I don't know. Anyway, I have a couple of cowls in mind. The two cowls I was thinking of are First at Dawn by Beatrice Perrin-Dallin, or there is a cowl in this book. So here, I thought that would be great on a guy, and also quite quick to knit up. I think she's used some sort of beading in here, but I wouldn't do that. So, and it looks like there's brioche in there, so maybe I can use it for the Knitting First cowl as well, or the other one there that I showed you, which is also a free pattern. So one or the other. And then I have two lovely friends who I would also like to make something for, but Joe I asked, because guys are sometimes funny with things, right? So especially gay men. And I spent 25 years in musical theater, so frankly, I'm an expert on gay men in the best possible way. So I didn't want to like get him something that he wasn't going to like, and I wanted to check the color with him first. And so, but my other two friends, I figure I can kind of pick something that I know they'll like. So, you know, that's to be determined. I will let you know. Okay. Then lastly, before I get to my acquisitions, I want to tell you the things that I would like to cast on for me. So once I get some of these things off the needles, there's a couple things I'd like to cast on for myself. So I want to tell you some of those, as well as some new to me patterns that I have recently either purchased or are free on Ravelry that I've added to my library. Okay, so number one, I bought the Musselburgh. The Musselburgh is by Isolda Teague. I joined her mailing list and I got 20% off a pattern, and so I got the Musselburgh, and that's a very popular pattern right now. It's basically like a double-lined hat that you can fold up and wear, and like I said, I'm always cold, and my husband and I walk almost every morning by the sea, and so it can get quite windy, even though it's certainly not like Toronto cold by any stretch, but it's still cold, right? So I was thinking I might use some of my leftovers from my shawlography, because there was so much that I didn't use, and a lot of it is not sock yarn, and so it's fingering weight, but I can't use it for socks. So for example, using this is the yarn that I won in a giveaway on Instagram. It's by a Madrid dyer named La Mona Lina, and this color is called Chocolate Wine. And so I thought between that and maybe some gray that I also have, I could do a Musselburgh. So that will be the next thing I cast on for me, because I need it. I need a hat. I have a hat. I have a Stockholm hat, I think it is, from Petite Knit, but it's too big. And I have to do something to it before it's really useful for me. When it's too big, it doesn't like hug your ears, and then your ears, well, they're not warm. Aw, my husband brought me a coffee. He's So sweet. Okay. I don't know what to put this. So I have that. The other thing I would really like to do is make a pair of mittens because my hands also get cold. And it's funny. I said to Audrey, I was like, okay, I want to make you, like, can I make you a hat? No, I wouldn't wear a hat. Can I make you mittens? Oh no, I wouldn't wear mittens. I was like, what are you gonna do when it's cold outside? She's like, I don't know, I'll wear a hood, put my hands in my pockets. Teenagers. So I'm making myself some mittens, that's fine. I have a couple of mitt options that I'm gonna show you pictures of. I'm sorry, I know I'm fussing with my hair a lot this episode. I'm sorry, I just washed it and it's so flyaway when it just gets washed and it's itching me, it's making me crazy. So I apologize. Mittens. The Handsome Mittens by Salmela. I'm assuming she's Finnish or a Finnish descent. Are very cute. I kind of want those Selbu mitten style, not Selbu mittens, but like that style of like the triangular top and the kind of rectangular. I kind of want a pair of those. So those are cute. They're also the Milan mittens by Knitting Lotta. Or the Bromont mittens by Diana Walla. I remember those from the Chalet collection that Espace Tricot put out 2 years ago, I think. And now that whole collection is available free on Ravelry, including the most amazing capelet. Yeah, the capelet, we'll talk about that another time. But for now, I was looking at the mitts and I thought that they looked really, really cute. So those are kind of the style of mitts I'm thinking. But again, that's gonna be a couple weeks down the line. Okay, so I want to tell you about a couple of patterns in terms of acquisitions. I thought I'll also give you pattern acquisitions. Should I do yarn acquisitions and then patterns? Maybe. Okay, let's do yarn. Knit crate. I have 2 knit crates that have arrived since I last saw you because they had a bit of a backup because of COVID, right? Like shipping and stuff. I feel really bad for them. It's been a really big challenge. So they're great. They're really, really great. I'll put the link below if you want to try it. So I have this here. This is Vidalana Dusk. And this is 60% Wakaya alpaca, 40% Suri alpaca. DK weight 211 meters. Beautiful. I mean, beautiful. This would be a good cowl. Is this the one I was thinking of? Oh no, this is the one I was thinking of. Maybe this one could be for Joe. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, I think so. Okay. And then this one is called Apple Picking is the color, Tweedy Sheep, 90% wool, 10% Donegal Neps, Aran weight. Not really my color. This might go into the prize bundle for, or one of the prizes for the knitting cowl. If you would like to win this, let me know below, because I don't know, is this something that appeals to people? It is really cute with the little, here it's blowing out and kind of limey. It's actually green apple. It's very green apple color. Anyway, it's cute. It's just not my color, my personal taste. So maybe one of you would like it. Okay. Then I already showed you my Ulysse that I got. And then I got some Holskarn. Now, I did not buy anything on Black Friday. I didn't get any Black Friday yarn or anything like that because I had bought from Holskarn a couple weeks ago when they were retiring some of their colors and had 20% off. So, how can I show this to you? I'll go one by one. I got 2 things of their Highland sock yarn. You're gonna notice a theme. It's not very broad in terms of color, although I did bring some color in. I have a couple of the ones that they are getting rid of. So Pebble is actually the one I already have because I thought maybe if I need an extra. This is the whole super soft. These were $2.89. Yeah, $2.89 a piece. And these are light fingering, 287 meters per 50 grams, 314 yards. This one is Truffle, kind of similar. I don't know if you can see the difference there. Truffle has flecks of blue and yellow and almost like a purple in it. It's a little more marled, but you could probably work them into the same sweater. Hopefully you can see the difference between those 2. And then I got, in the super soft family, I got Mouflon and Ember, which are a bit of a departure for me. To go with Mouflon and Ember, I got this Titicaca in the color Crown. I think it's called Crown. So I thought these could work together in a shawl. I'm going to show you a shawl pattern a little later that I'm thinking I might use this for, even though I have no idea the yardage or the weight, but I might use this. I thought that this color of alpaca stranded would blend these two colors together. And I think too, you could even work one of the super softs in there if you needed to. And then the other thing I tried is their Coast. So I haven't tried Coast before. Coast is 55% lamb's wool, 45% cotton. So I haven't tried this base before. And this is the color Conquer. Very dark brown. I wouldn't say it's bordering on black, but it's a very dark tobacco not even chocolate, dark chocolate. And then to go with that, I got this Titicaca in Havana. So, and because this has 350 meters per, I think 700 meters I can, well, it's not a full sweater, but I can certainly get a nice garment, nice something out of it. These are 400 meters a piece. So, yeah. And I always intended to kind of mix these together. Like, for instance, you know, I could see maybe doing something with like a fade, like maybe a colorwork sweater with like these three together would be, maybe I should hold them this way. With these three together. So it's just everything's on the floor, you guys. Everything's on the floor. Am I gonna be successful here? Yes. Okay. You know, that could be really nice, right? And then especially if you're stranding it with this. So I'm set for Holskarn for quite a while. But I love their stuff. I love their yarns. And I mean, all of that yarn that you just saw together was $55. 55 euros for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like 12 balls. I think it's worth it. So here are additions to my patterns that I'm thinking of making. So first of all, one I was saying that might kind of work for this is in the copy of Lana that I bought recently. There's the Portia, also by Natasja Hornby, and I'll show you a picture of that. That is on my hopeful to make list. I also got the Curio socks by Andrea Mowry. Those are part of her sock challenge, I think, that she does every year over American Thanksgiving. And I bought those. I was not participating in the challenge, but I think they're really cute. So I want to make those soon. The color palette socks, this is a free pattern. And I think that would be really great to use up, again, some of my leftovers from the shawlography that are sock yarn. I bought the Hygge season socks from Sari Nordlund. Now the nice thing too is that Sari Nordlund, when you test for her, she gives you a pattern for free of your choice. So I'll be able to pick something. But this was during her sale, or was it because they had just been released? I can't remember, but I did get a discount on the Hygge season socks. And I just thought those would be lovely and cozy over the winter. So I'll make those up at some point. The Rusko beanie is by, oh dear, what's happening now? Okay, I'm almost done. So the Rusko beanie is, I'll put in a picture of that. That is by my fellow podcaster from Annie UT Knits. Annie, I don't remember her full name, but it's Annie UT Knits, and she's great. She does such a good job. So I bought her first pattern, the Rusko beanie. I think it was her first pattern, or one of her first patterns. So I'll link to her below. And then I got two patterns from Cozy Up Knits, which are such a great group of sisters from Alberta, and they have a really great podcast that I'll list below. And I bought from them the Bramble Ridge hat and Joe's Perfect Slipper Sock, because I thought those would be really great additions and things that I could make quickly over Christmas. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Holy moly, that was a lot. I hope that I didn't rush through it too fast. It's just, I had a feeling that my camera might kind of go kaput in the next little bit, and I did not want to wait another day because I'm like already 3 or 4 days late from when I wanted to post for you guys. So fingers crossed I can get this edited and uploaded for you guys. I would love to know below what you guys are making. I would love to know if you're interested in joining in our challenge. I would love to know if you already knew about the Crea Bea podcast or any of the other vloggers that I've mentioned today, or if there's anyone that you think that I should know about. I'm always interested in seeing new people. Okay guys, that is all for me. I hope that wherever you are, the sun is shining and you are sewing or knitting or whatever makes your crafty heart happy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.